Imagine waking up tomorrow and knowing this is it. This is the day everything begins to change. Not because someone gave you a lucky break. Not because the stars aligned. Not because some miracle dropped into your lap. But because you decided, because something deep inside you snapped, like a quiet whisper turning into a roar. I'm done wasting time. I'm ready to take control. Let me ask you something. What if I told you your life could be unrecognizable in 30 days? Not perfect, not finished, but transformed, rewired, moving. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're comfortable. And that's the problem. See, comfort is a liar. It whispers, take it easy. It says, you'll start next week. It pats you on the back while quietly stealing your future. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Your future is being written right now by the choices you make when nobody's watching. What if for the next 30 days you made a different choice? Not a dramatic overhaul, not a crash course in self-help, but a simple focused challenge. One that says, I'm going to show up every single day for myself. No applause, no shortcuts, no excuses. Because here's what you need to know. Small decisions, stacked daily, become unstoppable momentum. And that's what this is about. This isn't hype. This isn't a game. This is war. You versus the old you. And the clock starts now. So the question is, who are you willing to become in just 30 days? You ready? Let's go. A single decision, just one, can change everything. We like to think transformation takes years, that it has to be complicated, dramatic, hard to explain. But the truth, it starts in a moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. The second you decide, truly decide, that you're done living the same day on repeat, that's when the shift begins. We underestimate the weight of our choices because they feel small. Skipping the gym doesn't seem like a big deal. Hitting snooze just one more time feels harmless. Scrolling on your phone for another hour at night? What's the damage? But those little moments, they're not isolated. They stack. And before you know it, they've built a version of your life that doesn't reflect your potential, only your patterns. But here's the part we forget. The same way negative choices compound, so do the right ones. That first workout, that journal entry, that 15-minute walk, that one day you push through when you don't feel like it. That's a decision that echoes. It tells your mind, we don't live down here anymore. It tells your fear, you don't run this show. That's the power of a decision. And not just any decision, a committed one. The kind that doesn't negotiate. The kind that doesn't keep the back door open just in case it gets hard. You know what I'm talking about. That version of you that says, let's try, but if it gets uncomfortable, we'll quit quietly. That version has to go. Because you can't outrun the life you tolerate. You have to decide like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. Every dream you've buried under excuses is waiting for you on the other side of one decision. The decision to stop talking and start moving. To stop wishing and start working. To stop blaming and start building. Because nothing changes until you change. People think they need more time, more information, more motivation. No, you need clarity. You need that split-second moment where you draw a line in the sand and say, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how hard it gets. I'm not going back. That decision, that energy, is where the 30-day challenge begins. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about chasing purpose. Chasing proof that you are capable of more than surviving the week. That you can build discipline, stack wins, and become someone you're proud to live with. And once you make that choice, really make it. It changes how you wake up, how you walk, how you speak to yourself. It's no longer about how you feel. It's about who you are becoming. So stop waiting for lightning to strike. It's not coming. You are the spark. One decision. That's it. Everything else follows. We've been sold a lie. The lie that freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. That real happiness comes from ease, comfort, and avoiding pain. But the truth is, that kind of freedom, the freedom to drift, to quit, to escape, is not freedom at all. It's a trap. Because what looks like freedom in the moment often becomes a prison in the long run. Sleeping in feels good until your goals slip further out of reach. Skipping the hard work feels easy until you realize you're falling behind. Eating whatever you want, spending recklessly, avoiding the difficult conversations. It feels like control, but it's really chaos wearing a mask. The real freedom, that doesn't come from doing what feels good. It comes from doing what is right, especially when it's hard. And that takes discipline. Discipline is the quiet force that doesn't make headlines but builds legacies. It's the inner voice that says, get up. It's the strength to say no when everything in you wants to say yes to distraction, to comfort, to quitting. It's not flashy, it's not fun, but it works. See, most people are chasing short-term comfort and long-term regret. They'd rather feel good now and pay for it later. But discipline flips the script. Discipline says, suffer a little now, so you don't suffer a lot later. Discipline says, control your habits or your habits will control you. And that's where the real freedom lies. When you know you can trust yourself to follow through. When your day isn't at the mercy of your moods. When you don't need permission, motivation, or ideal conditions to act. You just do what needs to be done. Because you made a promise to yourself, and you're not in the business of breaking promises anymore. That's freedom. Freedom is walking into a room and not shrinking because you know you've done the work. Freedom is sleeping peacefully at night because your conscience is clean. Freedom is saying no to things that used to control you because your mission is louder than your temptation. Discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect in action. It's love, real love, for your future. Not the kind that pampers you, but the kind that pushes you. Because anything worth having, strength, peace, purpose, requires effort. And effort requires discipline. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're building a stronger, freer, more focused version of yourself. You're proving that you run your life, not your cravings, not your moods, not your doubts. And the beautiful thing, discipline multiplies. The more you show up, the stronger your will gets. The more you follow through, the more you believe in yourself. And the more you believe in yourself, the more unstoppable you become. So if you really want freedom, the kind that lasts beyond the moment, beyond the crowd, beyond the emotion, don't run from discipline. Run toward it. Because that's where the real you is waiting. There's a version of you that has to die. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth. The version of you that keeps playing small. The one who procrastinates. The one who makes excuses. The one who starts strong and quits quietly. That version, it doesn't get to come with you where you're going. See, we all have two selves living inside us. Who we are and who we're meant to be. And every single day, they're at war. One wants to keep you safe, comfortable, unnoticed. The other wants to push you, stretch you, pull you into your purpose. But they can't both win. One survives, one doesn't. And the longer you protect the old you, the longer you delay the life you say you want. The old you is built on habits, stories, fears. It's familiar, predictable. It knows how to keep you from risk. It's the voice that says, play it safe, try later. You failed before, remember? But here's the thing, that voice doesn't care about your growth. It cares about control. It wants to protect you from pain, not realizing it's the pain that shapes the new you. If you want to rise, something has to be left behind. You don't step into a new life with the same mindset that built the old one. You don't become disciplined while clinging to laziness. You don't gain confidence while feeding your insecurities. You don't find purpose while drowning in distractions. Something's got to give. And that something is the version of you that's comfortable settling. It's not enough to want change. You have to want it more than you want your old patterns, more than your excuses, more than your distractions. That's why so many people never truly transform. They want change, but they don't want to give anything up to get it. But the real ones, the ones who do change, they bury the old self. They stop negotiating with their limitations. They stop being loyal to their doubts. They stop watering relationships, habits, and thoughts that don't grow them. They choose evolution. And evolution requires sacrifice. That means saying goodbye to comfort, goodbye to the need for approval, goodbye to the part of you that's addicted to starting, but allergic to finishing. It's not an easy death. It's a slow one, a daily one. You kill the old you by showing up when it's hard, by making the call, by having the discipline, by choosing the uncomfortable truth over the convenient lie. And piece by piece, that weaker version fades, and a new one emerges, stronger, sharper, clearer. Not perfect, but powerful. Not fearless, but fearless enough to act. So if you're serious about the 30-day challenge, don't just show up halfway. Don't just change your schedule. Change your identity. The old you got you this far. Now it's time to let them go and become who you were always meant to be. Repetition builds reputation. Not just what people say about you, but what you say about you when no one's around. That internal voice, the one narrating your life, it remembers every promise you made and broke, every goal you set and ignored, every "I'll start tomorrow" that turned into months of waiting. And whether you realize it or not, your reputation with yourself is the most important one you'll ever build. Consistency. That's the real flex. Not talent, not hype, not a big start that fizzles out in 2 weeks. No real strength is in showing up over and over and over again, especially when you don't feel like it. Anybody can be fired up on day one. Everybody can post about a new journey or starting fresh. But what happens on day 7 when it's cold, when you're tired, when nobody's clapping? What happens when motivation runs out and the only thing left is the discipline to keep going? That's where your reputation is built. Not in the moments when it's easy, but in the moments when it's not. See, repetition is what builds trust. You don't trust someone because they say the right things once. You trust them because they do the right things over and over again. It's no different with yourself. You want to believe in you? Then prove to yourself that you can be counted on. Not once, not twice, but every day. You want to be known as someone who finishes what they start? Then finish. You want to be known as someone who's strong, focused, unstoppable? Then act like it, daily. One workout doesn't make you fit. One clean meal doesn't change your health. One good decision doesn't rewrite your story. But do it 30 times in 30 days. Now we're talking. Now you're not just hoping for change, you're becoming it. Every time you show up, you're carving a new identity. Every time you resist the easy road, you reinforce who you are becoming. And that repetition, it starts small. It's invisible at first. No one claps for it. But over time, people notice. You notice. Your energy changes. Your confidence grows. Your vision sharpens. Because reputation isn't built on moments. It's built on patterns. And your pattern is your power. So stop looking for perfection. Start looking for rhythm. Get obsessed with the daily. Not the outcome, not the applause, the daily effort. You do that long enough and you won't need to tell people who you are. They'll know. You won't need to convince yourself that you're strong. You'll feel it. Because repetition is the proof. Repetition is the path. Repetition is how the world and your reflection starts to believe you when you say, "I'm different now." So show up. Again and again and again. Because repetition doesn't just build reputation. It builds you. At some point, you have to decide what matters more, your comfort or your legacy. Comfort is easy. It's warm, familiar, predictable. It asks nothing of you but your time, and it will gladly take all of it. Comfort tells you you've done enough, even when you know you haven't. Comfort keeps you scrolling, keeps you snoozing, keeps you safe in the shallow end. But here's the truth that stings. Comfort never built anything that mattered. Your legacy? That's built in the discomfort, in the grind, in the sacrifice. It's built when you push past tired, when you stay in the fight. It's built when you do the right thing, not the easy thing over and over again. Legacy doesn't care how you feel, it cares how you live. See, comfort makes you think you have time, that you can try tomorrow, that someday will magically arrive and everything will fall into place. But someday isn't a day on the calendar. It's an excuse. And if you keep chasing comfort, one day you'll wake up with a life that's full but only of regrets. The legacy mindset is different. It's long-term. It asks better questions. Not what do I feel like doing today, but what will I be proud of tomorrow? It doesn't need perfect conditions to act. It needs a reason, a why, a mission. Because people who think in legacy don't need hype. They move different. They wake up with purpose. They understand that every day is a brick, and they are building something that will outlast them. And don't get it twisted. Legacy isn't just about fame or fortune. It's about impact. It's about how you make people feel. It's about the mark you leave when the moment is gone. Legacy is your character when no one is watching. It's the discipline you keep when no one's clapping. It's the life you create that speaks even when you're not in the room. Comfort asks, what's easy right now? Legacy asks, what will matter in the end? So ask yourself, are you building habits that serve your comfort or serve your future? Are you showing up when it's inconvenient, when it's tough, when it's lonely? Because that's where legacy is born, in the hidden places, in the unseen hours. You've got 30 days in front of you. That's 30 chances to build something bigger than convenience. 30 chances to move with intention. 30 days to say, I choose my future over my feelings. And if you do that, if you show up when it's uncomfortable, when no one's watching, when quitting is calling your name, you will start to become someone you respect, someone your future self will thank. Someone whose life says, I didn't just live, I built something. Because in the end, no one remembers how comfortable you were. They remember what you stood for,
what you gave,
what you created, who you became. Legacy over comfort. Every time. 30 days. That's all it takes to change your life, not because everything around you will magically shift, but because you will. This journey isn't about hype or quick wins. It's about transformation. It's about waking up and making the decision every single day to choose discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, progress over perfection. You started this challenge with a question. What if I gave it everything for 30 days? And now you know the answer. You don't need more time. You don't need more chances. You need one thing, a decision followed by action, repeated without excuse. You kill the old you. You show up with discipline. You build a new reputation with yourself through repetition. You stop living for comfort and start living for your legacy. That's the path. That's the blueprint. This is not the end. This is the ignition. Because if you can do it for 30, you can do it for 60, for 90, for life. So burn the excuses. Bury the doubt. Silence the voice that says you can't. Because you can, and you just did. You've proven to yourself what you're capable of when you stop waiting and start moving. Now the only question left is, are you going to keep going or go back to who you used to be? Your future is watching. Make it proud.